Hi, I'm Jamie from New Zealand Trillium Stockists, and we're here today to show you how we're going to ship our Trilliums this season. In the past we've had problems with losing product, and the hassle of packing and replacing has been really expensive. So this season we'll be shipping our Trillium Grandiflorum Pleno just in a prepaid courier pack from New Zealand Post. The Trilliums will be sent bare rooted, so in the past we have sent our Trilliums in this form, in a pot, which is no real advantage at this time of year, although later in the season when they're growing it is. You'll receive your Trilliums packed in some New Zealand sphagnum moss. Beautiful stuff, soaks up the water and holds the moisture around your plant for probably up to 6 weeks, but I wouldn't recommend you leaving it that long before planting. In here, in a recycled plastic bag that had dog mints in it before, and I think nuts from Ellison Holst's. So here we have, wrapped in sphagnum moss, there's 3 plants in here, and shaking them out of the pot. I'll show you how we do that in a minute. This one, all these were put aside last year, they flowered. This one, that's a flowering bud, and so it's got 2 babies there and probably another one down in here. So that's a good start. This one here, well, it hasn't quite, there's a little baby just forming there, but it's a good strong bulb. And here's another one, it's got some little juveniles on the bottom there. So this is Trillium Grandiflorum Plenum, or the double white wake robin from North America. These can either go straight in the garden, or you could actually repot it and grow it in a pot for a season or 2, which is not a bad way to do it. They like being in pots. This is just a cheap, well-used 2.5 litre pot, plastic. Got good drainage in the bottom, which is very important. And this one here, 2.5 litre pot, plastic. Got good drainage in the bottom, which is very important. And this one here, nice terracotta pot. And always check that you've got a hole in the bottom of your pot for drainage, and a hole that size will block up with mud and dirt over time, and you'll lose your drainage, which is fatal to plants. So I've got a mixture. You can use stones, pebbles, broken bricks, and just put a 60-70 mil layer in the bottom, or if you've got a big pot, it'll save you on potting mix. So that will ensure that hole doesn't block up. And then I personally wouldn't use a bark base potting mix. I go for a peat based if you can find it. Hard to find in your garden centres these days, but this is one I actually get made up especially to my recipe by a local grower of plants. So when you've got your Trillium, and I'm going to put 3 in this pot, this will be a good sized pot for 3. I'm just snuggling them down. I just want to have the tip of the plant is going to end up just below the soil level. This is not too difficult, and well, for me, I've done thousands, so if you haven't done it before, you'll be a little bit unsure of what you're doing. A bit more soil on top, just pack it down, bit of a bump. And when you water that, give it a good soak, a whole plant in a bucket of water, and then take it out and let it drain. You'll find your soil sucks down around the bulbs. It's got good contact with the roots, and pop your little label in there, which will come with your plant, and job done. I would actually keep the sphagnum moss around the roots of the plant. The roots love to grow into it, and it will ensure that you do hold a bit of moisture around your roots. So through the season, the watering is going to be critical. For the plant will start growing from towards the end of September, depending on the climate you're in. Just bear in mind, 8 degrees Celsius, that's the root temperature that will start the plant growing. So if you can't get this potted, just pop it in the veggie chiller in your fridge until you're organised, but don't leave it too long. The sooner you get it potted up, the better, because it might end up in the stew or the casserole. Yeah, so the plant will start growing about September or early October, end of September, early October, and will be flowering from probably about late October through to mid to the end of November. So you should get a good 6 to 8 weeks of flowering from the plant. When you get to Christmas or New Year time of year, you'll find the leaves will go splotty and you'll think, oh dear, what's wrong with my Trillium? It's just feeding back on the leaves, and that energy is going back into the roots, so they'll start looking tacky. And at that time of the season, give them a good soak and pop them around the back of the house somewhere in the shade, somewhere cool, and then you can bring it out next spring, and away you go again. If you'd like to order or find more information, go to our website, either on Facebook or through Google, New Zealand Trillium Stockists, and you should come up with a little bit of information and some flowers which will show you the beauty of this plant.
Could you just, I'm going to chop this up a bit, can you just tell us about not picking the flowers, just your recommendation on that?
Yeah. New Zealand Trillium Stockists.